We are not in support in the market because of what has been said about the atrocities unknown people have been committing in the market. We know very well that most of these criminals, they stay in places that are not easily detectable by the police. And we are in support of the government action that nobody should sleep in the market. As far as we are concerned, we will not allow this in our market. So we like to support this. But on the other hand, again, we are thinking about the security of our equipment, principally the cold stores, deep freezers, and other equipment that we are using for the frozen of our foods market, specifically fish and other frozen items. How do we keep this in the market without having security? We would like to appeal to the government to please allow us to have our own security in the market so that our equipment can be watched and looked after for us.
And that is why that we need our security to ensure ọjà wa. Tó yẹ pé bí ẹlòmíì bá wá sí ọjà wa ní anything after 10, wọ́n máa arrest wọn, a lè kó wọn fọlọ́pàá ní straight. So àwọn ọmọ tó wá ń ṣọ́ cold room wa like engine chemo, ó lè dalẹ̀ kí àmúná lọ kí gbogbo equipment wa kó ṣe kíní. Àwọn míì wà tán gbọ́dọ̀ off immediately tó wọ́n tún bá múná dé lójijì kíní engine yẹn máa ń spark. That is why I think allow now one change. And
we accepted the law that nobody should sleep in the market maybe after 7 or 8 o'clock. Yeah, we are sort of our own market. What we are not saying that is this law affected us much than the other markets in Lagos State. One, will the butchers in the abattoir, after we might have slaughtered our cow in the morning as early as possible, maybe around 6, 7 o'clock to 12 o'clock, and we bring the cow outside. Before we see the buyers, sometimes our cow lays on our table more than 4 to 5 hours before selling it. And as at 7 o'clock, you will still find cows, that is the slaughter ones, on our counter. Then seeing the buyer to buy it. And as we all know that, as soon as you kill the cow, there is nothing you can do irrespective of the dead cow any longer. If the cow is still alive, we can drive the cows into the pen for the next day. But as far as we are concerned, we want the government to help us to assist us, because with the cow we are now selling, we don't have a cold room to put them. And if after we have the cold room to put the slaughter cow that is now lying on the table without selling them, and it will affect us because we will not see money to buy another one in the next day. But the next day, nobody will like to buy cold room meat. So now we are now taking this time to appeal to the government that we should look after Lagos State abattoir. And you take our own as an example.
Your business. She should not allow some people to sleep at the market. It's a good idea, but not kind of our business here. When does that order come affect? You must be affect us. They are going to cause problem in Lagos State, whole Lagos State, because we are dealing with the farm products, perishable goods, tomato, tatashe, rodo, onion, yam, and all the fruit. We are dealing with it. We are bringing kind of this food from the bush. From the bush, not from each market. We are Shata Moto, one day we are paying. From the money, we are starting the product to come out from different farms to come and uploading. We are starting uploading from the 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The lorry come here from the 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Sometimes we are going to get about 17, 20 motor here a night. Before the morning, we are going to upload it finish. People who are uploading, we want them to stay at market. Only uploading. Those uploading people, those are our security for market.
It is To our utmost surprise, when about 2 weeks ago, we heard that there was a law promulgated by the government that all the market premises should be close down by 6 o'clock with immediate effect. We complied to that effect, but having known that we are the type of business we deal on, it's a very business that concerns what you can take from morning till night, the whole activities that concern it. Any smallest second will affect the business. From 7 o'clock and go to our house without any problem, because people you see around here are crime people that to make both and meet. So hearing that, to challenge the activity of the government.
The state pointed areas of in this edition, the various areas conducive the introduction of an identification grain from the shaft. Introduce a form of identification proposed by the traders themselves. Further, while so that the various market associations have also been making efforts at correcting the numerous lapses government is accusing them of. Mountain of iron state of security lead in this effort. The security.
When when we hear this law from the state government, although before we have fence in the market, but the first knowledge of we gather our money between ourselves, then our station perishable, we do the fence and the gate, so that because we want to obey for the law for the state government. That was we don't put the gate by 6. Even you can look, even tomorrow you can call, you go see, but some of them don't collect the whole our gate. Nobody should go out because the criminals. Even nobody control the criminals. Even we said we hate the criminals because we are dealing with people money.
Igan ó dáa fún wa ṣùgbọ́n ìjọba wọn ṣe fẹ́ǹsì tó dáa fún ọjà yìí ìyẹn gbàgede wọn ṣe àwa ará ọjà lẹ́nu ìgbà tí ìjọba pàṣẹ yìí a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí pera wa jọ a dẹ̀ ti ná owó a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ṣe fẹ́ǹsì yẹn pàápàá a ti ṣe géètì méjì tí owó rẹ̀ cost wa ní 800,000 naira a dẹ̀ máa ṣe géètì bíi 6 bẹ́ẹ̀ sí then a máa ibi tí ó kù tí ó yẹ ká mọ gbàgede yíká ìyẹn fence a ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí map out láti ṣe àwọn fẹ́ǹsì yìí tí a bá ṣe àwọn fẹ́ǹsì yìí a dáàbò bo àwa náà àwọn ọmọ olè tó ń jà ní express tí wọ́n bá ti jà ní alẹ́ wọ́n ń lo àǹfààní àìsí gbàgede fún wa níbí wọ́n ń sáré wọ inú ọjà yìí báwọn ọlọ́pàá bá ti ń lé wọn wọ́n ń sáré wọ inú ọjà yìí omi àdẹ̀tún tàtà tó po ọjà nígbà tó jẹ́ pé ọ̀nà wà yíká ọ̀nà àti gbà yìí lè gbà sásàlà ó pọ̀ káàkiri inú ọjà wa. Àwa gan ti gba ara dì báyìí láti ràn ìjọba lọ́wọ́ láti rí pé àgbà ọmọ olè ní àyè.
Closing of market from 6 o'clock in the morning to evening and the ban on sleeping in the markets could rightly be described as a strong commitment at upgrading the state.
torí bí ìmọ́tótó jẹ́ ìkọ̀kọ́tẹ̀ tó ṣòfin ní Lagos State làwa ti ń ṣe ìmọ́tótó ni security ní gbogbo ẹ̀ làwa ń ṣe ń bí torí ẹni tó bá léètì jáde nínú ibi wọn máa mú ní lọ́dọ̀ wa ń bí adẹ̀ sanwó security fún ara wa gba security síbí tí ò dẹ̀ sí dààmú níjọ́ tá a ti wà níbi tá a bá fẹ́ ru wa sílẹ̀ kò sí nǹkan tó ń gbé wọn ò dẹ̀ gba ọmọkọ́mọ láyè ìgbà tọ́mọkọ́mọ máa wọ bí ọ̀gá wa tó sọ̀rọ̀ níṣẹ́ ilé wọn jáde.
This is followed by the prohibition of trading by roadsides, while relentless campaign is continuously being waged against mounting of illegal stores by roadsides. But how have in fact, the situation at present is that a greater number of people selling sites have been rehabilitated in the main markets. As a result, if there is anyone still on the roadside, according to the leaders, such a person is simply on his own or her own. They stand also concerned.
Gbogbo àwọn ọmọ tó jẹ́ pé wọ́n wà lọ́jà ìyá wọn bí àgbààgbà àbí kinní kan wọ́n dúró sáyé wọn ni wọ́n lọ sí ní títì ṣùgbọ́n ẹnikẹ́ni tẹ́ bá rí ní títì kí ìjọba gbé kọ́jú wọn sẹ́wọ̀n ẹ̀ tó bá ti jù sẹ́wọ̀n lẹ́nìí tó bá di ọ̀la kò ní lọ sí títì mọ́.
And you see yourself that the original master plan of this edifice has been messed up by greedy estate developers. The car park of this establishment has been
turned into shopping illegal shops. Last weekend, when we all got home, by Saturday and Sunday, when we come on Monday, we discovered that a lot of shops have been erected, foundation laid, and the canal nearby is being prepared for a shopping mall. So the original master plan of this shopping mall had been completely distorted, and even the fire exits of these shopping malls have been closed in order to have more shops. What I mean is the fire exits of this shopping mall have been turned to shops, illegal shops. Even if there's fire today, even the fire service could not find entrances or exits or ways to put out fire. And I pray, God forbid, if you go around, you can see for yourself the complete, total disruption, distortion of the original master plan of this complex.
The government has been trying. Aswaju, Tinubu has been trying. It's only some people who doesn't want to help him. They can't do it alone. It is we who will support him. I don't see how somebody sensible to come out and throw refuse outside. It's a clean environment. It's a healthy environment. So he has been trying, and with the way he's going, we are going to support him. And we have started it all. You see, he did mention that he wants every park or every market to organize, to have put in place this GSP. And we have got one. It's unfortunate that the man is not working.
Lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ọjà sanitation àwa náà ń ṣe dáadáa, gbogbo ìmọ́tótó ó ń lọ dáadáa lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ọjà tí wọ́n ṣe. Nípa ti ìmọ́tótó àyàní tí Àlàmísì làwa ṣe ọjà wọn mọ́tótó tó ni. Kó ní àsìkò kan Aláàjì Mose sáàmà àpapọ̀ wọnú kóòtù wọn abáyọ̀ mọ̀ rí pé ẹlẹ́jà onídọ̀tí. Ẹni fẹ́ káwọn ará Àbújá kọ́ máa rí pé àmọ́ ìmọ́tótó làwa ń ṣe ní gbogbo Thursday. Gbogbo fún ìmọ́tótó tí gọ́vùnà wa fẹ́ afárámọ́ ẹ̀rẹ́dì láti bá wọn kọ adájọ́ láti fi agbègbè ìmọ́tótó yẹn nǹkan tó dáa ni kì í ṣe fún tìtorí gómìnà ló tìtorí ẹ̀ ń ṣe tìtorí àwa tó ń lo ọjà yẹn tá ń lò ó kí a má bàa kárùn ká má gba ìsàn lọlé so òun ló tìtorí ẹ̀ ń ṣe afárámọ́ ṣùgbọ́n kán bá gbé sí aago 8 abẹ gómìnà wa ni àṣetán kì í ṣe kù apẹ́ lórí àlépa ẹ̀ wọ́n jọ kan bá a tráyẹ̀ kó lè wà ọjà pé ká tà ní aago 6 yẹn ó lò mí iṣẹ́ ẹ̀wà tó jẹ́ pé àti aago 7 tàbí aago 6 ló máa jẹ́ ẹ̀bẹ̀ sí ọjà ìta so lérí bẹ́ẹ̀ yẹn kọ́ tó bá wà ní nǹkan tí wàá di aago 8 yẹn olúkálukú á lọ ohun tó olúkálukú bá rí àtẹ lọ́rùn so àdàmúra láti ṣe ìmọ́tótó yẹn tó jẹ́ pé àti ẹ̀fí ilẹ̀ pàápàá a tún ká ìkiri gbogbo ọjà ní gbogbo àwọn èèyàn wa tí ò bá ṣe dáadáa a máa la bá wọn
pé kọ́ òfin tí ìjọba ṣe lọ́wọ́ kì í ṣe fún torí ara ẹ̀ kọ́ rí pé wọ́n ṣèmọ́tótó ẹ̀ dáadáa ẹnikẹ́ni ò gbẹ́dọ̀ lòlò ìdọ̀tí a máa ń kiri ọjà yẹn jẹ́ bí àwọn ìyá ọlọ́jà àwọn bàbá ọlọ́jà a máa ń lọ a máa gbé mọ́tò gbogbo nǹkan tá à ń ṣe nìyẹn tó rà fara mọ́ òfin yẹn dáadáa.
And I want to take this opportunity again to warn all the markets and all street traders to stop putting rubbish on the median. I will pack them if you put them in the bags. I will close your markets. I will close your markets. Don't bring your baggage in the street. Keep it around the area, we will come and pick it up. Put it in the bags. We will send people out. We mean and we are determined to enforce the law. We will do so.
On the part of the government, we need the market in order to eject illegal occupants, thereby keeping the market safe for the traders and their customers at all times. One would also recommend the establishment of a forum through which issues concerning market administration and development can be discussed between the market leaders and government representatives. This way, adequate care can be taken in ensuring that markets maintain the status generally expected of them. In view of our Ashwaju Bola economic program, the present dispensation to sanitize this important area is once again another manifestation to improve the well-being. are responsible for enviable position of this state among other states in the Federation. One of such factors is its enormous economic and commercial influence. As at present, the influence of the state economy goes beyond the Nigerian shores, as the state is now regarded as the most commercialized cosmopolitan in the entire West African sub-region. Lagos State had also served as the seat of the federal government up till 1991. During this period, the state witnessed tremendous development. The urbanization of the state. There is no gainsaying, as it is quite obvious that Lagos State remains the most urbanized in Nigeria today. The extent of physical development does not only attest to this. Continuous expansion into virgin lands continues unabated as a result of the continuous influx of people state. To be precise, one of the greatest challenges that the successive administration in the state has had to contend with was managing the state's enormous and ever-growing population. In view of its dwindling resources, the provision of infrastructural and social facilities as a matter of compulsion was prioritized and ranged according to how urgent and important they were. The situation has remained economic, financial, and public management continues to deliver democratic dividends to the state's teeming population, a fact which is evident in all the sectors of the state, and particularly education, where there are 1.3 million pupils at the primary school level alone. During the first term of this administration, one of the ministries that was a beehive of activities was the Ministry of Education. Indeed, the much attention and focus the Education Ministry attracted to itself can be attributed to the important position this sector was placed. Right from the onset, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu's administration emphasized that education would not only be made free and qualitative, it will also be made a right and not a privilege. True to the statement, the administration within a 4-year period adopted educational policies and execute programs that were not only considered as populist, but also pragmatic. Within the first few months in office, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu declared education up to the secondary school level free in the state. A multi-dimensional approach. This afforded the Asiwaju Tinubu administration supply science and technical equipment, as well as constructed wall fence for schools, which helped greatly in enforcing discipline of schools. Indeed, one of the lasting legacy the present administration will leave behind is the Millennium Schools. By its sheer size and facilities, the Millennium Schools project has not only redefined public school development, not only but which also offers students all it takes to learn. With such programs and projects,
I was invited, and because I share the vision of His Excellency, the Governor of Lagos State, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I chose a lot in with him. I have met so many people who have responsibilities very high, so many people. I think the Governor Bola Ahmed Tinubu rates very high in my consideration and estimation. But leaders who have a vision of what they want to do, how to go for them, and use resources, both human and material, to achieve stated goals. So you might say that because I believe in the vision of His Excellency, the Governor, I decided to join. I was invited, and I graciously and very, very gratefully accepted to join the administration of Bola Tinubu.
About indiscipline in schools and larger of unregistered some ministry shed this on the development.
Well, thank you. These are of taking some fundamental decision in terms of implementation of existing policies. There are so many schools that are not registered in Lagos State. Their existence is not to the knowledge of the appropriate agency of government. You might say that there is a much rooming, there is an excessive existence of unnecessary and substandard structures that go by schools. Since we assumed office as Ministry of Education, we have called the attention of the public to the need to patronize only approved schools, and thereafter we have called upon the proprietors or owners of illegal and unapproved schools to regularize their papers with government, failing which the government will have to enforce the penalties of the existing regulations, laws and policies. And we have been doing this. It might interest you that at every opportune time and venue, we have restated our commitment to ensuring that only approved schools exist, because the responsibilities are enormous. The schools are very high responsibility. It goes beyond mere establishment of schools to make profit, trying to ensure that those who have made very useful and worthy investments in education are from the sweat of their labors, not establishing substandard structures. The schools have been calling attention to this. We have been sensitizing the public and the proprietors of such schools to be very wary and to regularize their papers with government.
During the first time of this administration, some of the icons of the educational programs were payment of NECO fees, supply of equipment to schools, construction of millennium classrooms, and others. My question is, are Lagosians to expect more from this program?
Oh yes, you don't expect a governor like Bola Ahmed Tinubu to grow from good to bad. It can only be from good to better, and ultimately to the best. Certainly, we shall continue with all these laudable and publicly acknowledged policies, such as the payment of examination fees and offering a new breeze in terms of ambience into the existence of teaching infrastructures. I have in mind the Millennium Schools. We have successfully delivered 4 out of proposed 25. We have 21 outstanding. 1 is already on, and we are going to pursue that particular project with the vigor that it requires. We are going to try as much as possible within the space of 4 years to conclude the Millennium Classroom Project. I'm sure you know what it means. A fantastic edifice, 39 classrooms, 60 conveniences, 3 standard staff rooms, 3 standard libraries, and 1 solidly built computer center, a quadrangle for recreation. All of this put together will make the Millennium School Project a project that must be pursued with vigor to underline further the commitment and interest of His Excellency in providing the conducive environment for teaching and learning.
Another question, sir, is the fact that the return of mission schools during this administration's first tenure was a kind of policy that generated much hype. And it's very evident today that most of these mission schools cannot maintain these schools. What's the ministry doing about government by extension?
I thank you for this opportunity to offer these few comments on this. Government is in the process of looking at the entire policy of return schools. We are happy that some of our citizens who are proprietors of return schools are doing very well, and we commend them. Some of them are not doing very well. They are not doing well at all, and we are going to have another look at such proprietors who give the impression that they are incapable of managing these schools, especially if you consider the fact that His Excellency the Governor took a very humane, not political, a very humane decision by returning schools to these proprietors. The decision was a humane one, and the gesture was essentially a kind-hearted gesture. But it appears that some of the people who had earlier promised to run these schools are incapable of doing so. It is not saying that all of them, but some of them. And government will look at this very critically to come to a fair decision. If it means saying, sorry, we made a decision, government will not hesitate. But I'm not saying that is what we have done or what we are going to do, but just to let you know that we are also thinking about what is happening in some of these return schools.
About the GS3 examinations, there was so much delay as regards the examination. In fact, some people expressed the fear that the exam will not hold. But lo and behold, the exam is about to hold on the 18th, or will hold on the 18th. What is the magic, sir?
The magic is commitment. There were some problems associated with the conduct of the exams. The transition was a very important factor in this regard, and the new executive heads were just settling in when these exams fell due, and we have tidied up all arrangements, and the magic is in the extreme dedication of all the staff of the Ministry of Education, the principals, the administrators, the officials of exams board. Everybody has been involved, and because of their unusual dedication and love for success, they all put in their best. And of course, we have the grace of God and the support of His Excellency the Governor, who promptly approved funds for the conduct of these exams.
Talking about the private institution in Lagos State, I mean, higher education institutions in Lagos State, you found that there are so many challenges facing that particular sector of the education. Talking about the infrastructures, and as well as many other problems. What is it doing in alleviating these problems?
You see, when we talk of higher educational institutions, I presume you are talking of tertiary institutions. Things have changed, and the physical environment of our tertiary institutions are changing for the better every day. What one, with the support by government of the administrations of these tertiary institutions, to initiate and then develop such ideas that would make learning and teaching very easy. That is one. We have quite a number of interventionist agencies, ETF, the World Bank, the federal government, and the special intervention by the state governor on a number of occasions in some of our tertiary institutions. I do not agree that the infrastructures are not there. Many of them are there. I agree that they are stretched, but every day government continues to add value to what it has put in place, and we are hoping that the tempo will be sustained and in fact improved upon in the coming years.
To round up this interview, sir, what should Lagosians be hoping for in this sector come the next 4 years?
Well, it is never easy to engage in crystal ball discussions when you talk about the future, but our own aspiration is not necessarily to be the best. We want to try to be a major catalyst for the sustenance of those things that are good in our educational setup, and indeed to be a worthy instrument in expunging those aberrations that we have in our educational system. It is true that education management and existence can be better in Lagos State, but as much as it is possible, as much as it is humanly possible, as much as it is possible materially and in terms of resources, we are hoping that in the next 4 years we would have had a completely holistic, integrated educational system from the pre-primary up till the tertiary level, and that by the time we stand down this administration in 4 years, it would have been possible for us to look back and say that, oh yes, we met the town in good hands, we met education in very good, capable, bureaucratic hands, and we have the support of His Excellency and other colleagues in the government to do what is good for Lagos State, for the vast indigenous population, for the many people who have chosen Lagos as their own residence, and for those who might wish to observe us from a long and very varied distance, so that we can collectively lay a solid foundation for the progressive development of education in Lagos State in the 21st century and beyond. Thank you.
The administration is just you have about 4 months in the office. What has been the challenges so far, sir?
I am happy you call them challenges, not problems, because these are challenges. We have the challenges of orientation of the bureaucracy. The bureaucracy has its own way of doing things. A political head like me, with love for achievements, I have my own style and approach to issues. That is a major challenge, and these people they have made considerable sacrifices in terms of jettisoning their own previous style to adopt and embrace my own get it done quickly approach. That is one. Another major challenge is the extreme exertion of pressure on the resources of government, to the extent that in some ways we cannot achieve as much as we would have loved to achieve within this very short period that we have been here. We have had challenges of the problem associated with return schools, which is giving some concern to government. We have had the problem of the extreme, the unusual mushrooming of illegal schools in the private sector participation in education in Lagos. We are dealing with that, and we are hoping that we'll be able to checkmate this in the very near future. We have the problem of discipline in public schools. Discipline in terms of pupils coming late to school, at times absconding from schools, truancy, exam malpractices. We have indiscipline in terms of teachers not teaching what they are paid to teach, or at times absenting themselves from schools. And we have the very unusual indiscipline of parents assaulting teachers or staff members in public schools. All of this we have tried to address by putting together what is called the Code of Conduct for Public Schools, in which every major stakeholder, students, staff and parents, will pick their own obligations, rights and duties, and hopefully comply with the expectations of government. And all of this, we have tried, all these challenges we have tried to address as much as possible. Of course, you know that the best cannot be achieved overnight. We are trying and we are succeeding.
and everything, sir. And please advise the parents on other stakeholders in the educational institutions as what you expect of them.
The word for it, in one sentence, we expect cooperation from all stakeholders in the education sector. The parents should meet their obligations to the schools in terms of ensuring that discipline is maintained. If they have meetings with parents, teachers association, let them attend them so that they can share views. It must be an opportunity for me to also mention the fact that each school in Lagos State will have its own separate management board that will be appointed by government, comprising of all stakeholders in the society. You have a chairman of such a board or committee who necessarily doesn't have to have a word in the school, but a respectable gentleman in society. The parents' association will be represented. The school administration in terms of principal and vice principal will be represented. You have the local education authority represented, and of course you have the students represented, so that you can have a holistic view of how schools are managed, and issues such as discipline, need for parental support for school activities can be handled without necessarily coming to the seat of government. And because once the basic framework are instituted, people can then plug in and buy in onto this and pursue with vision and passion to achieve the desired objectives of government.
Our present condition points at the fact that through qualitative education, particularly of our youths, our nation can achieve that enviable position we all desire. The administration of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu has continuously reflected that it has come to raise the quality and status of this important sector. The priority being accorded to this sector truly testifies to this commitment. Several other areas are being looked into to ensure that education continues to take the pivotal position. It is often said, "It's life." This popular saying emphasizes the link between the life of the populace and their access to portable clean water. Based on this fact, it is obvious that no man can exist without water. Little wonder the saying, "Water has no enemy." Therefore, it is no gainsaying that water is the most important next to air to all. Hence, without water, there is no life. As a result, our society can't boast of being a civil and healthy society if the people don't have access to portable clean water. The development of a society needs accessibility to clean water so as to prevent waterborne diseases such as cholera, diarrhea, typhoid, and so on, as these diseases are capable of maiming or wiping out a whole community, because research has shown the waterborne diseases have claimed more lives than any other disease in the country. Hence, the lives of the people are at stake. This can result in the population of the country being less productive, as most people will be ill and out of the hospitals, and the effect is a stunted economic development and growth. Therefore, to tackle this problem, a technical approach has to be adopted. The provision of portable water for domestic, commercial, and industrial uses constitutes one of the gigantic projects being executed by the Lagos State government since creation in 1967. During its early days, the administration of water supply in the state was undertaken by the Water Supply Division of the Lagos State Ministry of Works and Housing. But later, in 1980, the government created the Lagos State Water Management Board with the mandatory function of being responsible for water supply under the supervision of the then Ministry of Environment. The Water Management Board was upgraded to a full commercial grade A parastatal with the status of a corporation in January 1995. The population of the state is year 2000. The result of this is that the infrastructure put in place and the distribution network is overstretched. The Lagos State Water Corporation, whose mission is to provide safe drinking water in sufficient and regular quantity, maintain good quality services by collecting enough revenue to for sustainable growth and overall progress of the corporation. Promote good community health by ensuring customer satisfaction. The Lagos State Water Corporation has had to put in place different water works in major parts of the metropolis. Adiyan Water Works itself is situated in Agbado, Ogun State, owned by the Lagos State government, is presently the largest water works in the West Africa sub-region. The waterworks, which was commissioned in December 1991, began the first phase of a three-phase expansion program. The raw water supply is from River Ogun, situated in Akute. The pumping station consists of 3 ducted electric pumps and 2 standby. The waterworks has a design to treat water, and the treated clear and clean water is supplied to Lagos metropolis. The other is the Iju Waterworks, one of the 3 major treatment plants supplying clean drinking water to the city and various communities within the metropolis. The plant is supplied with raw water from Ogun River. As a matter of fact, the first water treatment plant for Lagos was designed and constructed Ishasi Town in Ojo local government of Lagos State. The plant was commissioned in 1976. Also, there are various mini waterworks spread all over the state, like Shasha, Victoria Island, Ikorodu, Badagry, Ekpe, and so on. But one of the major challenges that the creation of the Lagos State Water Corporation. And so, administration in 1999
Well, to put it in a nutshell, the corporation was virtually at the point of imminent collapse. We had massive debts, I think about 15.5 billion naira. We were producing at about 35% of installed capacity. You are aware that the media, newspapers, etc. was full of stories about people carrying buckets, things like that. So the situation was really very bad.
We had a system which was practically falling apart due to poor maintenance, and we had to practically build it up from scratch. This was as a result of financial constraints, but due to prudent management, we have been able to resuscitate production. And also, the distribution system was in a poor state. We had a lot of busts and leakages. But today, we're proud to say we have been able to contain the unaccounted for water due to leakages.
Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu said on inception, the primary objective of this administration is to provide potable water for all. And the Lagos State Water Corporation has had to meet up with this objective so far, for it can be said that the present water supplies have succeeded in meeting about 40% of water demand in Lagos State. Is 40% achievement good enough, considering the fact that the state is the commercial nerve center of the nation, coupled with its high population, the ever-increasing demand for water by the public and industrial concern? The Lagos State Water Corporation strive hard for improved services. The first area of concentration was tackling the problems of the old at the various waterworks.
Tinubu coming in as the governor of Lagos State, he has a lot of problems in these waterworks, like our clear water pumps. We have few clear water pumps, to the extent that what we can push out of this, information is less than 35 mgd. But presently, with the help of Tinubu and the present management, Mr. Koka and Engineer Shaolewe, we have been able to import some spare parts, most especially the MPC, which is called Motor Protection Controller, and most of them have been fixed on our panel. Presently, we have a capacity to push out about 45 million gallons per day from Hiji Waterworks.
questions in one. The commercial aspect of a business is dependent on what you call your back office. That is the database you are maintaining, the infrastructure you have behind the scenes that is managing that function, and of course, what you call the core activity, that's the actual distribution and collection of bills. In the first place, the database we have, I think it's over 12 years old. The last enumeration was done, I think, in 1991. So, in the first place, the database was out of date. Secondly, we did not have, or we inherited a function that was not efficient in bill production. The first part, that is the bill production itself and distribution, has been to a large extent corrected now. We are producing our own bills. If you go down to the 4th floor, you see that we have a whole IT infrastructure that we invested heavily in, and we now produce our own bills monthly. The database as is has been corrected to a large extent, and anytime from now we're going to commence a re-enumeration exercise of the whole of Lagos State to update the database, and because there's quite a lot of people that are getting water now that are not getting bills, and we hope before the end of the year that situation will be correct.
This campaign, which was done in conjunction with an NGO, is aimed
movement campaign organization. It's a movement that mobilizes the mass. It's a movement that mobilizes the masses on the importance of constant payment water rate. It is an NGO organization, which its main objective is to bring awareness in active realization of providing clean and hygiene water to the people of Lagos State. Good health is what they are saying. Let us pay our water rate constantly to Lagos State Water Corporation to avoid bad water from hygiene that could lead to the death and damage of lives. Lagos State Water Corporation is the only organization that can assure you of clean and pure clean water to live and through constant payment of your water bill. Constant water is assured.
I think we all realize water is life. Water has no enemy. Water is what we use for everything we do, and that is why Lagos State Water Corporation has come with another first. We cannot be sitting in our offices in AC and make the system work. All of us here are stakeholders. We are partners. We must always work together before we can get where we are going. Why are we here? Do you know that we pay 30 million naira every month to NEPA to pump water? We spend over 500 million naira just to buy alum. Our salary bill is over 28 million naira every month. We cannot do it alone. And we cannot always be going to His Excellency every time, Oga, we need this, Oga, we need that. Because there's still hospital, there's still school, there's still road, so many other things that we need to do in the state to move the state forward. Our major problem is vandalization. Customers don't pay on time. And we all see them. Don't allow illegal connection. Don't allow vandalization.
Don't allow people to tamper with your water. It is when we all see ourselves as partners and we work together that we can move Lagos State Water Corporation and Lagos State forward.
Pápá lórí ọ̀rọ̀ omi tí ẹgbẹ́ kalẹ̀ yìí pé fẹ́ máa polongo. Mo náà lọ pé Bọ́lá Ahmed á ṣe gudugudu méje ẹ̀yà mẹ́fà fún wa nípa omi. Ìgbà látọdún kẹrin tó ti wà níbẹ̀ náà à ń rí omi lò ní sáìdì ọ̀dọ̀ wa bíbáyìí. A máa ń rí omi. Kómi wá tó lọ, àgbo máa jẹ́ pé bóyá omi ti lọ ní gbogbo ìlú kó tó di pé omi ti wá máa lọ. Ṣùgbọ́n ní gbogbo Agége ní káàdùn rẹ̀ dàpọ̀ ìmọ̀ Capitol Road yìí. Àdìpẹ́ à ń gbádùn omi. Àdìpẹ́ Bọ́lá Ahmed Tinubu gbogbo ibi tó tún wá sí omi tó ń tún kọ̀m̀pé pé ó kù díẹ̀ káàtó omi kọ́jọ̀ kan náà wà lọ́wọ́ nípa ẹ̀.
Wọ́n ń polówó lé ní pé kálukú máa san owó omi ẹ̀ gómìnà Bayọ̀ dédé kí lè rí sí ètò tí wọ́n ṣe.
Nǹkan tó ti rí sí ni pé gbogbo àwọn tí wọ́n jẹ owó máa rọ̀ wọ́n pé kí wọ́n lọ san owó omi wọ́n torí pé ìgbà mi kan bá wá sí àdúgbò pé kọ́ wá san owó máa ń sọ fún ẹ pé ẹ mọ̀ pé inú owó yẹn náà máa tún san owó oṣù fún àwọn òṣìṣẹ́ elétò omi tòun máa rọ gba àwọn tí ó jẹ́ wọn lówó kí wọ́n san owó omi wọn àwọn tó bá dẹ̀ tí ì san tó ti fún wọn ní bíìlì pé kọ́ wá san owó omi kọ́ rò pé àwọn lọ san fún wọn.
ohun tí wọ́n gbé kalẹ̀ lé ní àwa ń fẹ́ kọ́ wọn bá wa ṣe lóòrèkóòrè láti tíjọba Lagos State ti wà wọ́n gbèrú nǹkan báyìí síta fún wa fáwọn aráàlú láti máa rí adúpẹ́lọ́ gidigidi ọlọ́run a máa ń dọ́lẹ̀ rú wọn àwa yìí lọ́rọ̀ sídè ní ọ̀pá ẹ̀yìn wọn aláwọ̀ àgbọ̀yìngbọ̀yìn ànípadà lẹ́yìn wọn ọlọ́run máa pọ̀ láṣìírí nǹkan tó ń gbé kalẹ̀ àwa sọ́pọ̀tọ̀ taratara wọ́n bá a ṣe káàkiri pẹ̀lú gọ́ọ̀mẹ̀ntì.
Final. Besides this, most of the time, their source of water is quite questionable and unclean. Furthermore, due to the highly degraded human environment in which we live, the water sources have also become replete with contaminants from different sources, the bacteria from agricultural livestock, septic system, inorganic contaminants.
For quality. Well, we always ensure that water produced from any of our waterworks meets the World Health Organization standards. In fact, we do everything we can to surpass the standards. The so-called bad water is usually due to water intrusion from illegal connections. The illegal connections are mostly found in drains, and this management has taken a policy of zero tolerance for illegal connections in drainages. Most times, whenever you have leakages in drains, these usually result into intrusion into the network and thereby contaminating the water. We always ensure we have in every waterworks we have chemists who certify the water on a daily basis before the water is pumped out into the reticulation. And there has never been a time that substandard water has been allowed or permitted to be pumped into the system. As I said earlier on, the problem is usually with illegal connections, which we are aggressively working on.
Lagos State Water Corporation, in spite of all these obstacles, still continues to strive harder in order for the average consumer to have access to in Nigeria, despite that consumer goes to administration in Lagos State, determination to deliver dividends of democracy to the people, recently commissioned new micro-water by our community. Of the Wire community, as the residents had been without water for more than 10 years.
And in Lagos in particular, the challenge is ours, is precious, is great, is daunting, but we will continue to do everything possible, to do everything within our resources to eradicate the problem of water. And before the end of our second term, there will be no area in Lagos State where you will have no potable water. Lagos State Water Corporation, the state government agency responsible for water, has an installed capacity of over 160.5 million gallons per day. This is significant improvement over the 95 million gallons per day capacity of the corporation. When we took over, they were barely putting 80 million gallons. Today, they are putting over 160 million. We have doubled the water production and water supply to Lagos State since the last 4 years. For their use, for their hands.
láti ọ̀sẹ̀ méjì kó débi láti wà mí láti sẹ́bìtì láti ìlú kọ̀ mí láti sẹ́bìtì tèmi tí wà mí kò sí omi ìjọba borehole kànga là ń mu ṣùgbọ́n nígbà tí Tinubu dé ló ṣe omi yìí fún wa. ó try gan gbìyànjú o àti ẹ̀dùpẹ́ lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ torí omi tó ṣe yẹn wá honestly ó gbìyànjú ó try gan ó gbìyànjú. a máa sọ ó ti di dandan àwọn olómi ọ̀pá ayé fi wá ṣàkóso fáríkà olómi ṣe pọ̀ jù wọ́n ń ta báàbù kan ní 5 naira 2 naira.
But like the proverbial Oliver Twist, residents of the state continue to yearn for better services from Lagos State Water Corporation and the administration under the leadership of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and is not shirking and is still striving harder to meet the huge daily demand of water for the over 15 million residents of the state. And also, efforts are still on to expand water supply in the state. In our next program, on efforts of the state government to provide adequate potable water, the recent move of the Water Corporation, which is privatization, and the need for it will be examined. Please stay tuned. Lagos is a center of excellence and unarguably the commercial nerve center of the nation, which acts as a haven to business activities. In the West Africa sub-region, Lagos is one of the most populous cities in the African continent. Lagos State is the smallest state in the Federation, yet it is the most densely populated. Lagos State occupies an area of 3,577 square kilometers, representing approximately 0.5% of Nigeria, but it accommodates about 15% of the nation's population. The state covers 358,861 hectares of land, out of which 75,755 consist of lagoons and waterways. State, with its proximity to the sea, has torrential rainfall in the months of June and July annually, coupled with the numerous creeks, canals and rivers which empty into the sea daily. And the flat terrain, and in some areas well below sea level, the Lagos metropolis especially is usually confronted with flooding. Flood control, therefore, is one of the greatest problems of metropolitan Lagos, a region which remains poorly drained in spite of the presence of Lagos, lagoon, creeks and rivers. This is because the area lies close to the sea level on a flat, marshy coastal topography and characterized by swarms and heavy rainfall of about 1,875 millimeters per annum. Their topography is worsened by the prevalence of slums and sprawling development, all of which have gone to overstretch the poor drainage facilities of the state. It is in recognition of the need to avert the occurrence of great flood that successive administrations in the state have had to grapple with the perennial problem of flooding. In the past, city most infrastructure restricting the movement of is any of the city of Lagos paid the flood. Once more, the recurring floods are devastating. Pointed to a highly populous and industrialized city which is 2 meters above sea level, good roads and drainage network that could withstand the floods. In some areas of Lagos, roads have been built like gutters to drain water. Where a drainage exists, they are not properly constructed and maintained. Existing canals are not maintained, and canalization of newly designated areas that are susceptible to flooding are supposed to have been abandoned. Until 1972, drains were treated strictly as lesser appurtenances of the road along which they were constructed. Consequently, the construction and maintenance of drainage facilities in metropolitan Lagos shared by many agencies of the local government, Ministry of Works, the town planning authorities, and the Federal Ministry of Works. This dispersal of drainage functions compound flood control measures. It was not until recent years drainage attracted attention as a specialized social service responsibility. As a matter of fact, it is obvious that the Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration sustained action on flood management for a flood-free Lagos, and this has helped to lessen the perennial flooding in the metropolis, especially in view of the next recent torrential rains. This is why State on Focus today beams its light on the activities of Drain Dogs, an agency created to make Lagos State flood-free. Drain Dogs, an agency under the Ministry of Works and Environment,
when I was in primary school, one of the recitations they taught us was Imatoto Bori Arumale. Here we are again. When we were all growing up, we knew that we can make a paper boat and place at one end of our drain, run to meet it, and it will beat us to death. Today, if any of your child will fall in any of the drains, you almost will forget that child, there. That's the evidence of neglect. That is evidence of indiscipline in our society.
The agency is saddled with the responsibility of cleaning the drainage as well as managing flood problems. Against awarding contracts during rainy season, which used to be the practice. Another obvious reason that led to the establishment of the agency is to provide job opportunity for the unemployed youth.